spells and some exalted help to go along with that. Also, a tricksy combo player prefers to play elves in extended and older formats back when those were actually formats. Now Wizards have scrapped extended in favor for modern, where elves doesn't quite seem to be a viable deck.
He has been trying to play it though, but not with any luck.
Not with any luck. We don't have any deck lists yet, obviously. That's why we're hypothesizing and speculating. Tomas Westling's deck filled with lots of hybrid mana creatures, blue intensive creatures to feed devotion to Thotsa. His 5/5 indestructible deity that gives unblockability for the cost of a colorless and a blue. And they roll both force, and now they roll off the screen. This is riveting entertainment here, ladies and gentlemen.
The round just started, so they will get going very shortly.
What does the chat say that Per is playing?
Someone thinks that Per is playing black-white.
Okay. That is correct. Thomas is playing Mono Blue Devotion. Per tearing his torn sleeve apart. Just so he doesn't mistake it for a whole sleeve and try to re-sleeve something with it seems like that's a mono black devotion deck. It has pack rats.
It's not impossible to play with pack rats even in a black-white deck. It could be just a very light white splash.
Yeah, maybe.
For Blood Barons or other utility.
Yeah. Per taking a ponder if he's going to keep this hand. It seems a little land light. He has a scry land and maybe one more land. He seems to be keeping. Tomas trying again for 6 new, hopefully better cards. And Tomas is satisfied. And apparently he did win the die roll. Per with lots of underworld connections, I think, and lots of heroes downfall as well. So now Per is presented with a choice. Either you edict the Tidebinder Mage to keep Tomas Westling off his devotion. Yeah.
He opts to do that.
Yeah. Or he could play the pack rat just to start building his own devotion and own board presence. But if it is as we speculate, that he's a little land light. Oh, I think he kept a one-lander with the Scry land.
It's an interesting choice here. I'm sure that he knows that Tomas is playing them on Blue Devotion.
Yeah.
And he figures that if he can stick a pack rat and start making rats, then
that's good enough. Yeah.
Now hitting his third land, he actually has the mana to to Hero's Downfall on the Night Veil Spectre.
Yeah.
Tomas just can't get a creature to stick.
Yeah. And Per Nyström has another Hero's Downfall in hand for next permanent here. Also, Per is very fine with trading cards here, since Tomas is down a card from the mulligan. Also, he has plenty of Underworld connections in hand. The plan is somewhat stymied by the Judge's Familiar here, since Per is land light. He can't just run the Hero's Downfall straight into the Judge's Familiar. Tomas has been 50-50 in remembering to counter stuff with Judge's Familiar on cam, so but that is Per not aware about. Scries with Thassa and chooses to keep it, and down comes another Frostburn Weird, and Tomas is actually slow rolling Master of the Waves in hand here, so any removal that he can coax out of Tomas is
out of pair.
Yeah, out of pair is one less that he needs to deal with for his Master of Waves. Per makes a pack rat. The little figurine there representing a pack rat, and here's the
very
much
good
needed
pull for Per there with the Swamp.
Yeah,
he has some options now of maybe even powering out the Aerobots that he has in hand.
Yeah. The Aerobots is still 2 devotion away from being a creature, though. Also, the pack rat is a very solid plan versus mono blue. Basically, the only answer that they have is the Cyclonic Rift.
Just puts Per in a pretty awkward position where
he can't really make a pack rat this turn, or he has, at some point he has to choose between making a pack rat for a turn or killing the Master of Waves.
What he really needs to do is also turn off the devotion for Thassa.
Yeah.
Because she hits too hard.
And can basically become unblockable at will.
Yeah, so if he wants to stay in this game, he there's so much threats going on right now.
Yeah.
On Tomas' side.
And even a removal on one of the Frostburn Weirds doesn't
no,
turn off the
with
Thassa
the
here.
Master Waves, he needs to kill 2 creatures to turn off Thassa.
Yeah, exactly.
So he would most likely just have to take these 6,
Yeah.
go down to 8, and try to find a second removal. Tomas only has 1 card left in hand, I think.
Yeah.
And with the two pack rats, you can still play Hero's Downfall and turn on Master Waves to get rid of all the elementals.
Yeah.
Hope that you draw 1 more removal to deal with one Frostburn Weird to turn off Thassa.
Yeah.
And then just pray pretty much.
And he drew a Thoughtseize this turn. Perhaps not the card of choice when you are on 8 life facing down a 5/5 indestructible, unblockable creature. But what do I know? I'm just a commentator. So Per here trying to get Tomas to block with a Frostburn Weird, making the pack rat
pretty much hoping that he doesn't realize the pack rat can become a 4/4.
Yeah.
but more likely is that he will just not block.
Yeah.
It looked like Per actually had a third Hero's Downfall.
Yeah.
So he can let Tomas go into attackers, let him declare Fassa, and then turn her off, provided that he hasn't played another creature.
Most likely, Tomas will play a permanent
if he has one.
If he can find one off the scry and draw step here. I'm not quite sure what the last card in Tomas's hand is. Playing it fairly close to the chest here. Tomas takes a peek and then takes a ponder. He takes all the blue cantrips.
You do just want me to keep naming blue cantrips, don't you? Blah blah blah. Brainstorm. Blah blah blah. It was preordained that he would. Blah blah blah. I'm sure he has some serum visions around here somewhere. So basically, any one blue mana, or this is definitely a problem for Per here. That's another 2 devotion that he would need to handle to get rid of Fassa.
Yeah.
Or turn off Fassa rather, which he really needs to do to stay in this game. He
plus
will
one,
plus one, and then you smash in with the 2 safe attackers.
I think Paris going down to 2 here, or maybe it can't because of the unblockable ability on Thassa.
Well, he pretty much has no choice. He could jump with the rat.
Yeah,
but
that doesn't get him anywhere.
Makes it so that he really can't win, and Fassa will just give unblockable to 2 creatures next turn.
Yeah, this is not in a pretty position. I can't see if he has Grey Merchant in hand. Maybe that can bring some much needed life back to Per if it draws a land, but.
He actually puts the
Mutawall on the buzzer
in front of Fassa.
Yeah, and now he's downfalling something. Maybe he's downfalling Jace,
or he's just creating a rat.
Or
he's just creating another rat. It would have been interesting to see a Grey Merchant there. Could have given it upswing in life that he wouldn't have needed. He still doesn't have the ability to turn off Fassa.
No.
Even with an attack on with everything on Jace here, would just result in one of the weirds dying instead.
Yeah.
So just a land now for Tomas would be just good enough, really. Just finding a land to just double activating Fassa and then being able to pump the weird that he's attacking with, along with Fassa and Familiar.
Yeah, true. Tomas tries to throw away his cards.
Cloudfin Raptor and Nightfall Spectre.
Yeah,
in the piles for Jace here.
Yeah.
You got to imagine that pair will just give him the island Clarkson Raptor in one pile.
Yeah.
And Thomas will probably just take the Nightwell Spectre, play it, and he actually gives. So now Thomas can actually play Island and Nightwell Spectre and give Fassa unblockable to make sure that he goes in for 6 damage this turn, unless you want to Hero's Downfall the Judge's Familiar, and then for sure be lethal next turn with several creatures. You have to remember as well that the Jace was used for the middle ability this turn, so the rats are actually presenting lethal damage as a pack. No pun intended.
If you mean
he could create a rat now and then another one in his turn and attack for 20. But any blockers there would just be
the rat he creates in his turn is summoning effect.
Yeah, but there's 4 5/5s. There would be 4 5/5s.
Okay,
but it wouldn't matter since there were still blockers.
There were huge number of blockers.
There's still the threat that the pack rats can present.
Yeah,
as a
pack
numerous.
Yeah.
So Thomas takes game 1 here.
A little landlight. A lot of landlight.
He was stalled on mana or mana number 3 and 4.
Yeah,
for a long time there.
First on 2 for turn, and then on 3, and then on 4.
So
really put a hamper on his style.
Thomas had loads and loads of time to just establish a board that truly was big enough so that the pair barely put a dent in it with the removal that he had.
Yeah. So
always kept
always
Fassa online, and
yeah.
you can't handle the Fassa once she's online, and if she gets to stay online for a few turns, then there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Even if he's just attacking without giving her a blockable, it's still 5 damage that you need to handle.
Yeah.
And chunking away a random guy every turn, especially if you're on a pack rat plan, that's really not something that you want to do.
Yeah, you want to be able to build to an amount of rats that so that you can start attacking back and eating away at the Paris creature without having to expend
the removal in hand. Yeah.
A rack pat. Par seems to be sideboarding quite a lot of cards here. Or are we... Oh. He's fingering some cards back and forth. There's Devour Flesh, some pack rats. Is that all of the pack rats, maybe? No, the pack rat seems to be staying. The pack rat seems... he might be sideboarding in 2 more pack rats because... most likely he's only playing 2 main.
It's plausible.
Yep. The second packet giving a discount to your rat, so to speak. It costs 2 instead of 3. And also there's the factor of that you really want to draw it in the matchup. Life-Bane Zombie is not interested in joining the team in this matchup. So Par is content with the changes that he's made. Most likely Thomas has gone up a little in Cyclonic Rifts to answer the pack rats out of Par's board. If he has them, that is, if he has more Cyclonic Rifts in the board, which I think he has at least 1 more. people calling for judges in the background around here. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there's someone was not very happy with the speed of which the judges responded.
Who is ever?
Who is ever, indeed.
So let's see if we can get this
game two
going here
on the roll. And Thomas took this game off a mulligan to 6. He presented a very fast clock through 3 removals from Per.
Yeah.
Really shows to the resilience of the creatures or of Thassa, really.
Yeah, if you can just get stick fast at turn 3, which Thomas did.
Yeah.
That is pretty much. I can't remember who it was that said it for the Protoferos, but it was someone that said that if we could, we would play Thassa number 5 and 6 in the Blue Devotion deck, because you always want to stick it on turn 3.
Yeah.
It is such a powerful card and helps you with all sorts of things.
Yeah. Per going down to 6. It seemed like a hand very
no lands.
Yeah, very land light. Here's 6 cards for Per.
So a couple of lands and
A couple of Heroes Downfall.
yeah.
The Judge's Familiar and the Pack Rat coming down on turn 2. And we're off to the races, says Per. $19. And a Frostburn Weird here for Thomas.
Is that a Farika's Cure, maybe?
Yeah, I thought it looked like a Freakus Cure.
Yeah, it's a reasonable card to have here. It deals with so many of Thomas' creatures. The really odd part with choosing the removal suite for the black decks in this format is that you have cards like Ultimate Price and Doomblade and Devour Flesh, the Hero's Downfall, all good cards, but in most decks nowadays, you just can't target
everything
that you truly want. Like in this deck, Doomblade won't take Nightingale Spectre, and Ultimate Price won't take any of the creatures on board right now, but it will still kill off Master
Waves and the Tidebinder Mage.
Yeah. So it still has targets, so it can present some weird interactions and problems really for the players.
Yeah. Here, for instance, Farika's Cure got turned into Rat.
Yeah. And there's another Rat from Hero's Downfall.
Hero's Downfall. So, Per is firmly on just making Rat's plan, discarding basically everything.
When you can get off the Rats this early, you don't really need to fear Cyclonic Rift, which just becomes more or less like a spot removal rather than a sweeper.
But in this case, Thomas has drawn his one Nicholas Shrine to the Gods.
So Nyström would give him
a gazillion mana-ish.
6-0, okay, fair enough. So Thomas actually can
overload
a Cyclonic Rift
this turn
this board.
If he has a Cyclonic Rift. I don't see one in his hand though. But
so 6 mana.
He can at least build quite a board here. Begins with a Bident of Thassa.
Pretty good draw here.
Yeah, a good way of digging to mention Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah. So not only will he get in for free damage in the air, he will get to draw 2 cards and steal the card off the top of Pair's deck.
Yeah. And he also pumps the the Frostburn weird for the rest of the damage here. And Parry goes down to 12.
Interesting that Parry just takes this. Thomas finds himself a Desecration Demon, which he can actually play thanks to Nyktos, since it's triple black
devotion
in the Nyström
Spectre.
Couldn't really see what the cards he drew was.
He casually drew 3 cards here. And maybe Par has to put the brakes on here. He drew Grey Merchant of Asphodel though. Does he have the?
If he can play a land, and if he has 3 cards in hand now, if one of them is a land, he can just play land, create 1 rat, attack for 12, and then have the Grey Merchant for the next turn.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to have the land though.
Thoughts ECU? And there's a Master of the Waves, Nightfield Spectre, a Mutavault, and that's all the action that Thomas actually has.
Plenty of lands.
Yeah, plenty of lands drawn from those 3 triggers of the Bident. Removing the Master of Waves, so he doesn't have to spend mana on removing the Master of Waves eventually.
He'll create his rat and attack for 12 at least.
Yeah, exactly. And now it is up to the top of Par's deck. Land next turn, and he most likely wins. Depends on
if Thomas can draw a counter.
Can peel a counter or a Cyclonic Rift or. Also, Thomas has to be careful not to put himself dead to the board, even if he's digging for the Cyclonic Rift or digging for more cards. But
he seemed to have drawn another Frostburn weird.
Yeah.
The problem is that he needs to block every single rat.
Yeah.
As the board is now, or handle 1 rat to put himself down to 1.
Yeah.
He'll attack with everything.
Yeah.
I'm guessing praying for.
El Rifto de Ciclonico.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a.
There we go.
Yeah. Thomas wasn't aware that there was a 4th pack rat here.
More importantly, an untapped rat.
Yeah, exactly. I think Per kindly reminded him because it wasn't all that obvious that the figurine was a pack rat.
So you'll attack him in with the 2 flyers.
Yeah.
Bringing Per down to 7.
Peeling a card from a swamp here. And drawing 2 cards.
Look at the Tidebinder Mage and something else.
A Tidebinder Mage and something not Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah. So he could just play out his hand.
Yeah.
And pray, which is most likely what he needs to do. But he would still put himself dead to Grey Merchant.
Yeah.
If Per can pull a land.
Yeah. Maybe he's actually even counting and instead of praying. He's such a mathematician.
And they found the 4th rat.
Yeah. So the Nicholas taps for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue mana, or 3 black, or 2 red.
Or 1 white.
Or 1 white.
More importantly, we'll tap for 9 blue mana now, or 10.
10 blue,
even.
10 blue mana now. and
Chuck down a bunch of blockers.
yeah, just vomit blockers onto the table.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to have been a land.
Per still isn't. No, Per is exact. He's dead in the air.
Depending on how Tomas blocks, right? Because as you said,
Yeah.
he has to block every single one of these rats.
Yeah, of course. But I was thinking that Per might even be able to just stay at home, try to survive one turn.
Yeah.
But that, of course, isn't viable. And actually shoving the team in, forcing the blocks, is the correct way to just survive the turn.
Yeah.
Because this only there is the mutavault as well. So,
but he
has a rat blocker for that.
Yeah, he gets an untapped rat. I will put these cards into my graveyard. Is that okay with you? Per agrees. Tomas drawing an awful lot of cards each turn, though.
He will have a look at the new 6 cards this turn with the draw for main normal draw, 2 cards off the top of Per's deck, and another 3 cards drawn from the deck via Bident.
Yeah.
He could also just play out the demon and maybe something from his hand. I couldn't really see what he drew. Just
I think he drew an island.
Okay.
Here we go.
He'll win with the team.
Yeah.
The flying team, at least.
Yeah. Going down to 2, 3 draw triggers from Bident and 2 triggers off of the specters. He's drawn at least a land, a Thassa, and
It looks like a Tiebinder mage.
yeah.
So now the question becomes: does Tomas have enough
enough
to
blockers?
put up 5 blockers here?
He can play the swamp of one of his Tidebinder mages because he has a hero's downfall tucked under one of the
Yeah,
Night
but
Inspectors.
he doesn't need to play the swamp. The swamp doesn't really give him anything important. He will still get 6 black mana off the Nykthos if he wants to play both the Desecration Demon and the hero's downfall. The problem with Desecration Demon is that Per doesn't need to sacrifice an attacking creature.
True.
He can just create a new rat, sacrifice that, and then kill him.
Yeah.
Since he can still make 1 rat now end of turn. I think that Per drew Hero's Downfall.
I think he drew Underworld Connections.
Okay. So he still has Grey Merchant in hand and an Underworld Connection that will definitely become a rat now end of turn.
Yeah. It's on rat duty.
Yep. So the tricky thing here is that Tomas will only get 9 mana now from Nykthos if he wants to get blue. But the question is, will it be enough? And
it's not enough.
No, it's not enough. So Per takes game 2, and we go on to a decider.
So Thassa 1, Pack Rats 1.
Yeah.
It was quite literally the only card that mattered on Per side in the matchup.
Yeah, in both games.
Yeah.
Turn 2 Pack Rat for Per in game 2, turn 3 Thassa for Tomas in game 1.
Yeah.
That is basically what these decks want to do against each other.
Exactly.
Some very cool interactions with Night Inspector and Nykthos.
Yeah.
To be able to cast the cards off of those. The only color that Tomas deck can't produce is green.
Yeah.
But there are some possibilities where you could plausibly have Night Inspector steal some black spells.
Yeah.
give yourself black mana for Nykthos.
2 spells? What? Yeah, Par played two spells. Thoughtseize and Backrat.
Oh, yeah. Who needs to play spells when you create rats?
Yeah, exactly. And that rat was from the top of Par's deck.
For turn 2.
Yeah. Who needs tutors when you have draw steps? And it seems like Tomas boarded in a Cyclonic Rift here. So
one would really hope that he would.
Yeah.
Cyclonic Rift is definitely a really good card here.
It looked like he boarded in 1 extra for game 3, which I would have liked having them the full amount of them in game 2 as well.
Yeah.
Some intense shuffling here. Tomas taking another look at the sideboard. Nothing he's forgotten. I see a Cyclonic Rift on the bottom of Tomas's deck here. No surprises from the sideboard from what I've seen from Tomas's shuffling here. It would be interesting to see how this game plays out when Per doesn't have Backrat and Tomas doesn't have Plaza.
At that point, then Per will use Traders removal 1-for-1 and win with a demon.
Yeah,
so,
that seems reasonable. A demon and the hero's downfall.
Per swamps.
Yeah, Thoughtseize there, a Grey Merchant. We're off to the races. So the Judge's Familiar actually shuts down the turn 1 Thoughtseize here if Tomas feels that he has something to protect, which is not at all impossible. Also, basically the cards that Per wants to nab out of Tomas's hand doesn't come down on turn 2 anyway, so there's no harm waiting. But here comes the second Judge's Familiar. So is Per gonna 2-for-1 Tomas here?
I think he will.
Yeah.
If there's a Fassa, definitely, but there isn't.
No,
so there's nothing here that Tomas really fears losing. Sure, it would be nice to keep the Master Waves, but
yeah, most likely the Master Waves only dice to some kind of removal anyway.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that Per is looking to take the Nightveil Spectre here.
Yeah.
He can't play it now. Tomas can't play it now, but peeling a land can really put him in a awkward position where.
On the other hand, here, the 2 familiars in play makes any removal that Per wants to play cost 2 more. So maybe Per is in a position where he has to take the Master Waves because he just doesn't have time to get hit by a bazillion seahorses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we see Tomas here draw the second or the third island, so he can play his Nightveil Spectre, and the same actually obviously applies to the Nightveil Spectre here. A Devourer Flesh will just kill a Judge's Familiar.
Yeah,
but Per will need to start casting these.
Yeah, he needs to start trying.
Yeah. Well, he needs to start getting rid of the familiars, or he will never be able to resolve the Hero's Downfall or other spot removal on his intended targets.
Yeah. Sacrificing to counter? Yes, no? No?
på Nyström.
We just got word that Christopher won against Erik Ryding, and Jonathan Bergström won his match as well. And I'm trying to get
our spotter here, Ludwig Londos, not unfortunately in the tournament anymore. Yes, please.
06.
So another.
So we see here as well that Per has an ultimate prize in hand, which is unfortunate.
Useless against the board presented.
It's a very awkward position where he can't kill any of the creature on the opponent's board.
Yeah.
It would be able to kill Master Waves, of course, but there's just no targets as we see it now.
See if he remembers. Yes, Tomas remembers this turn. And another sleeve broken for Per here.
He hits another land.
Yeah.
Per did miss a land drop now,
yeah,
right?
So Tomas just keeps stealing Per's land drops here.
Yeah. And another Nightfield Spectre.
A Nightfield Spectre of the black mana given to him by Per here. No mana up though, so the Devour Flesh will nab a Nightfield Spectre here.
Does Per have a Nightfield Spectre in hand? Or a Devour Flesh?
Yeah, he's already played it, of course.
Yeah. I think there's only Ultimate Price and Per Demons.
Yeah.
He really needed a 4th land to be able to start throwing down demons.
Yeah, making sure that he has a blocker of some kind.
Yeah.
And
a Bident comes down for Tomas here, and this is a devastating turn.
Yeah.
So he'll trade Mutavault for his Pack Rat.
Yeah, and go down to 4, creating 2 Bident triggers and 2 Spectre triggers.
Yeah. He finds an Unroad Connection and a Doomblade.
Yeah.
Peeling off non-lands from the top of Per's deck is definitely what he wants.
Per is fine with that, but he doesn't find the 4th land anyway. Yeah, Per just died to a bunch of Nightwheel Spectres.